What do an astronaut and a Viking have in common? Not very much, unless your name is Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Um, didn't expect to be filming this video tonight, so the Visit Blackpool guide, that big brochure that comes out every year telling you everything that's happening around Blackpool, from Sandcastle to the waxworks to the Pleasure Beach, the whole shebang. They've kind of potentially told us the new name, theme, and colour scheme for Ice Blast. So I'm going to read the snippet out here. So the snippet here says, "Get ready for liftoff. New for 2025, Pleasure Beach Resort has reimagined its Ice Blast ride. The ride has been closed for the past year to allow work to take place and has a brand new pressure cylinder which will transform the current ride experience, seeing riders catapult vertically up to 210 feet high tower at 80 miles an hour before being thrust back down again in a free-fall descent. The ride will be rethemed and will relaunch under the name Launchpad for the 2025 season." And there's a little picture at the bottom there of an astronaut and Ice Blast in the background. Now, the reason that there's many reasons I'm tempted to believe this. I don't think this publication would just make stuff up. The colour scheme of Ice Blast in the background, still calling it Ice Blast, not Pepsi Max, right? No, Pepsi Max, not PlayStation. It's blue with red and white in it. When we were there the other week for the final day, the top of it did look blue. It did look like they were painting it blue. Wasn't clear if it was an undercoat. You wouldn't put an undercoat of blue to then paint it white again. So I do believe the colour scheme that's in this is correct. It seems really odd though to put something that is kind of astronaut space themed next to something that is Viking themed. I mean, don't get me wrong, Blackpool Pleasure Beach is not a theme park, right? It is an amusement park, very, very different. They don't really do theming to an extent. I mean, Valhalla is probably one of the most themed. Yes, you've got Wallace and Gromit, but do you know what I mean? Like Icon's not really themed, the big one's not really themed, so it's not their thing because they're not a theme park. But this seems odd. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it seems to confirm though that the ride is coming back, which, as the time went on, it seemed to be that was the case. Initially it was that it's getting removed, and then latterly it's like, no, this is getting a refurb. This is definitely hanging around. Again, it's a very, very small image here, but looking at it, it doesn't look like it has the spinning seats. It does look like it's just the standard gondola that we already had, which is a little bit depressing because I was kind of hoping for something new to go with it. But yeah, why is this information getting leaked here in the Visit Blackpool magazine and not coming directly from Blackpool's PR team? Why are they not making a big song and dance and telling us what they're doing and trying to hype it up for the next season? It just seems really strange. I mean, I've said this before, that they are not the most communicative, and it's a bit of a frustrating side of Blackpool. You look at the polar opposite is Alton Towers, who, even for a flat ride of a Huss Topspin, their marketing team's going bananas and releasing these leaked photos and all this stuff. Like, they know how to build hype around even the most simple thing, and Blackpool's missing a trick here. They're not doing anything with that. Of course, this, we believe, again, not confirmed because they're not telling us, is only a piece of the puzzle. There's still the question mark around this gyro swing. As far as I'm aware, there hasn't yet been any demolition of the Bolodrome. I know Scott posted some pictures today. He was down at the park, and he didn't post anything from the Bolodrome section, so that at least there's nothing visible from outside the park of any demolition. Again, that's just based on the fact that the building is empty, and staff have said to me that that is where this gyro swing is going. But again, there's no confirmation we're getting this gyro swing, and as I've pointed out in the past, the loan where everybody spotted it, and it says, we borrowing some money for an Intamin gyro swing, the loan was satisfied 3 days later. Now, I ain't no banking expert or legal expert, but my gut tells me that means one of two things. Either they've paid that off very quickly. Why would you borrow that much money for 3 days? Surely you would just say to Intamin, he's a couple of days and I'll buy it next week. Or it's been cancelled. And I have heard both. I've heard staff recently say, no, it's definitely coming. And I've heard, no, it's been cancelled. So there's a question mark there of, is that still happening? Obviously, demolition was going full steam in Grand Prix when we were there on the final day. The whole helix is gone. bizarrely they left the fountain in the middle untouched. So I'm not expecting to see anything there next season. I think that's a longer term thing. I know there's a lot of people like, please don't just make it like a picnic garden, which I think would be ironic because you're not allowed to take food in with you. But I mean, they could put extra benches there for the burger bit next to Avalanche, maybe. So I don't think we're going to see anything in the Grand Prix site next year. I think that is, 2026, 7, hopefully not 7, maybe 2026 before we see something there. But this is the first thing we've seen of 2025 for Blackpool. And, at the end of the day, it's an existing attraction that's coming back, so it's not new as such. It will be good to see the improvements in this ride. If they are putting a brand new pressure cylinder in, theoretically this thing's going back to its former glory. And I didn't experience it when it was brand spanking new, so I have been on some short towers that are more powerful, shall we say. So a very strange one, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this one. Do you think this is a good move? Do you care? What's your thoughts on the fact that this didn't come from Blackpool themselves? Seems bonkers. Unless this was published by accident and Blackpool's making an announcement. And they did say, actually, that's a valid point. When somebody asked about Ice Blast, they did say look out for announcements in the coming weeks. I guess we all assumed those announcements were going to come straight from the horse's mouth and not indirectly through a magazine that they didn't publish. But maybe we are about to get a confirmation from the park, but so far we have not. So anyway, very short news update. As always, if you've enjoyed this, hit that like button and do consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Adios. 7 minutes.